Hi, guys. Rhonda Winstead here with you, aka Rhonda without an H. It is good to be here, guys. I hope that you are having a fabulous day. I am recording this on Monday, and yeah, so far, so far my week is going great. And I hope yours is too. Okay, so this video is about showing you how to do one of my I Spy pages, or I also will call them stained glass. Let me show you. I've showed this to you before. And as you know, I am currently working on a design team project for Barbara, 49 Dragonflies, but just wanted to show you again this I Spy, and I did say that I would show you how to do this. And so that is what we're going to do. Let me just put this back in here. And this journal, guys, is expanding. Now it's 3 signatures. That's it. I'm going to cut it off at 3. So let's see. We have, where's my, oh, okay. So what I went ahead and did was I did one half, and then I thought we would do the other half together. I didn't want the video to be super, super long. I do have a tendency to be wordy. Sorry. That's just kind of me. Now, when you're doing, and this, it can be done with anything. It doesn't have to be done with any specific digitals or anything of that nature. You guys, you can make a really fun and cool I Spy page with magazine pages, with anything that you find, anything, book pages. This is one where it can just be super fun to do all kinds of different things. So it can work for any kind of journaling, even for a card. It could be super fun as well. You can do it smaller as a card. You can do a front. You can, if you want, you can keep the windows showing, the little pockets, or you can cover it with another page, and then have a cool verse or whatever in it. You can do something on the back, but you don't have to. So this isn't just for journaling. This is for anything. Now, with this particular method, I am using my sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine or you don't like to use a sewing machine, that's okay. It's just you won't have these little boxes on the other side where you've stitched, but you can absolutely just glue it down nicely, and you could draw on little boxes if you wanted that effect. Or you could just, have it be plain and do whatever, or leave it as journaling space. So I don't want any of you to think that if you don't have a sewing machine, oh, well, I can't do this. No, you can. You absolutely can. So what you need is a page or a card or whatever. You need paper. We got to start with something. And then you need some images that you want to block out and put on your page. And what I have done here, some of you may recognize this. This is from Tina, Shabby Dabby Doodah, one of the digitals that I have recently purchased from her. I thought this was gorgeous, and it's in my color, the yellow, right? The lemon. Lemon Birds is the digital I'm working with. So I did that. This is part that I have just ripped down, taking one of Barbara's pages like this, with all this fun collage, and I've just taken some bits and pieces and individually torn them because they make great additions for little bits here and there. So that makes it extremely versatile. And then I have also taken a book page, and this is my favorite large, I don't have rag paper, but this is, like Rachel was telling me of Roxy Creations, that this is the next one. This is her next best paper that she likes to work with, because it's very sturdy. It's got oh, the aging. It's, in the 1800s, so it's fabulous. And you can do a lot with this that you actually can't do with real rag paper, because it's more textured. And so you can't always work with it in quite the same easy way that you can with this stuff. Anyway, I deviate. Sorry. just a fun little whatever. I'm just like, oh, I got to tell them about this. Oh, I got to tell them about that. No. Okay. So here I have stamped an image on a book page and ripped around and then just backed it with one of these types of, papers that then it makes a wonderful frame. Here is, again, this is lemon tree. So I'm bringing out the lemons. Like I said, went on to Pinterest, and they've got lots of fun free images that you can utilize in this way that would complement. And you can, like I said, you can do that with anything, whatever your theme is. Pinterest is also a good option to take a look. Someone asked me, and I didn't put the reply in the to them, because there's so much that goes into it, about copyright. How do you know if it's copyrighted? And what I do when I go on Pinterest, I look to see, number one, does it have that little C with a circle around it? Copyright. I actually did go to a copyright attorney many years ago when I was looking to copyright some of my quilt patterns. So when you do a C and you circle it like this, that copyrights it. So when you see this symbol on anything that you're looking at image wise on Pinterest, stay away. You can't copy that. Also, you may see, like, artist, somebody's name, that it's their own artwork. Those types of things you have to be careful about. Some will say stock, or some will say, like, free whatever, that it can be used. So I just pay attention to that type of thing and try not to take something that I know is a copyrighted image. Okay, enough of that. Let's do this page, and I'm going to do it. I could choose to do it this way and have both of these show the inside, with the little boxes, but they don't sit in the same place. So that wouldn't be an issue. I have, it'll sit like this, because this is where it is in my journal. All right. So just to kind of move on, I don't want to do exactly the same thing that I've done here, but the whole idea of stained glass is to put space between each image. None of them run together. None of them cross over. They're all separated. When you look at a stained glass piece, you will see that they have, what is it that goes in between? Maybe it's just stained glass. I don't know. I've never done it, but I think it's amazing. But they're separated. It could also be a mosaic. And, and the I Spy, the reason I call them I Spy is it comes from the quilting world. And for those of you that are new and don't know, I am a quilter, reformed quilter. I don't know. I used to quilt all the time, and I still have a bazillion things. But once I discovered mixed media and journaling and that kind of thing, I've just, that's where my heart is now. But the I Spy element is something that you spy in a quilt. Now, obviously, with a quilt, you have connecting fabrics that connect things, right? And I spy can be a little bit different, but this, if you will, is my fabric, okay? And this is my image or I spy, which is fun for kids, quilts where you're teaching them and they're learning, for small children especially, that can you find where's the elephant, and you help them look and they right there, yes, that's that kind of thing. So that's why I call these I spy. Okay, so you can use magazine images, anything you want, and there again, on a copyrighted kind of thing, don't print it if you don't know that it's copyright free. And in a magazine, they have copyrights and that type of thing. But you can take that image, if you're not copying it, uh, on your, making another image of it. In addition, you can rip your magazine up, right? You can do anything you want. It's your magazine. I mean, you can't sell it as your original artwork or anything, but you can put images that you buy legitimately, you know, you can use those. Okay, so I was given, I don't know, this was in a freebie something somewhere, that's a Happy Mail that someone sent to me. I have no idea what the language is, but I think it's really cool. And I've wondered if it was maybe a religious, they're kind of the pocket size of, like those little Bibles and such, but I don't know. But I think this will be a fun thing to add. It gives a little bit different, what do you call it? The font. Oh. Well, it is Monday, guys. But it gives a different font, which could be really fun. And so I am just kind of making, that can be used for something else. And I think I will just go ahead. So we've got one something. I like to mix. I like to put fabric and paper and lace and ribbons and all that good kind of stuff. So I want to do a lemon somewhere. And I've got my my fan is going, so stay down. Something like that, although I think that's a little bit small for that size. And that's too big. Now I'm feeling like Goldilocks. Where's the just right? That could work. That could maybe work. We'll see. I think I will go ahead. I want to use one of these tags, these bird tags. You don't have to, here again, you guys, you don't have to use the images the way they come. Like this was meant to be a tag, but because it's mine, I'm like, I can do whatever I want with it. And I guarantee you, Barbara doesn't care, and neither do any of our amazing designers that give us just bazillions of options with the digitals that we buy and use. And if you're not that oriented to to do the digitals, that's fine, absolutely fine. That's also a personal decision. And as I've mentioned before, some of you know that I used to be a real paper snob, and I felt like using digital was cheating, that somehow I know, stupid, right? But that somehow, if I was using a digital, that I was cheating because it was too easy. It was a copy of something. It wasn't original, and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And now I look at that and I just think, well, that was silly. Um, and actually, I've gone so far as to say that was really stupid. But I can do that. I can do that with myself, but I wouldn't call anybody else stupid because that would be rude. Um, okay. Well, I was thinking that I might use a little, I don't know, what are these? Oh, oh, I was collecting at one time these tags that you get from fabric, that come in, tell you what they are and where they're made. So I did this on one of my uh, I Spy. I coffee dyed it, and then I made it so that you could put like a little tag in. And I'm thinking that this would be super fun, to put, well, like this here, right? So I'm going to put this on pause while I go spritz this with coffee. I'll dry it, and I think I'm going to trim it down a little bit as well, and then I shall return. Please do not go away. All right, let's put it on pause for a sec. Okay, so I have also taken a little thumb holder, or whatever you want to call that space that we do on those, and I'm going to bring out my double-sided tape. And for those of you that are newer and haven't watched as many of my videos, I usually use uh, about 3 glues. I use a glue stick for most things. Um, I use double-sided tape for some things, like what I'm doing right here. I use art glitter glue for a lot. And then for heavy duty types of things, I will also use Fabri-Tac. Um, and I don't necessarily say one over another as far as glues go. It's like, honestly, whatever is working for you, then that's great. So here, I think I'm going to just kind of trim that, and that will make it so I can put that on and it actually fits. So let's go ahead, and I will, like right now, I'm currently using these Blick glue sticks. They're they're fatter, they're bigger, and they're cheaper than uh, the Elmer's that I have been using. But honestly, I find that all glue sticks, with the exception of Yoo-Hoo, have worked really well for me. And Yoo-Hoo, I know it works beautifully for some, and I know some, artists that I definitely admire and love their work, but it's just not. I just don't care for it for whatever reason. I'm not sure. And it's a lot more expensive. I don't know. Anyway, but I find the key for me is how much glue you apply. So you definitely, regardless, I just like to apply it with a nice thick glue. You just have to make sure it's covered really well. And then I burnish it, to make sure it's just down really well. So there's that. And we've got this. We've got this. Now I'm thinking I want a little decoration on that. And I brought out, I could do this. That's small, but it's I don't know, it's kind of big too. It's small, but not small. Um, 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 I could do a bird. Oh, yeah, I could do a bird. One of these fabulous birdies. And I will have all the links to this fabulousness. Oh, look at that. That might be it. Let me just double check, guys. Got a couple more birds to audition, and then we will see. We will see. That's cool. I like that. I like that. I like this. And I like this, but positioning, I don't care for that on the position. Now, if I do this, then this has to change all around because I don't want two birds by side. So I might have to do something like this and do 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 do. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Do 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 do. Did you ever play that game at school? I did. I did. Now we need something fun. Something fun. I like this type of thing. That could work. That could work. So we're just going to play with a couple of different things here and see what we think, guys. And you can help me. You can be like, yeah, no, yeah. But make sure you get the message to me quickly because otherwise it's all going to be done. What about this? This was from Hobby Lobby, this label. Could I get away with doing a label like that? Would that look weird? If I do a label like that, then that's too close to this color. Then I would need to change this color for something else. But I like, and here I'm going to put a tag in there. So let's see. Oh, decisions, my dears. Let's try this up here. I want to just play around just a little bit. Just a little bit. And let's see. These two they should be good together, but they're not. And the reason they're not is obvious because they're the same size. Maybe I don't want a bird on there. Maybe what I want is the little, where I could do something like, see, guys, this is where you get like, oh, I'll try this. Oh, let me try that. And it is legitimate. It absolutely is legitimate. Sometimes you have to try it all. Now, I wouldn't want that because if I were to do that, then, and see, and then I have these two. Why do I always end up with these two down here? What if I do something like this and I make this a little smaller? Okay, that could work. That could work. Let's go ahead. Let's give it a try. Might not, but let's try. So I want to have a nice little space. And actually, this could be good if I get just some little fun something right in here. And here, let's see, I could maybe put a little bird in there. Maybe. I could put a flower. I could do. Ah, I also have these. Um, I could. You know what? I'm making an executive decision. I am going to use that, and then I am going to put that on something like this. All right. We're just giving all kinds of things a try. This is definitely, guys, something that takes a little bit longer, but I mean, this isn't something that you're going to whip out, in 10 minutes. At least I can't. Maybe you can, but it takes me a lot longer. But that's part of the process. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm loving doing this, the I Spy, the stained glass. I'm just loving it. And so for me, it's very relaxing, even though it takes a while. It's like, I know it's not going to come together super fast, and I'm completely okay with that because I know if I just hang in there, that eventually I'm going to have a fun, it's going to be fun, and I'm going to be like, oh, yes, I love that. Now, see, I already think that's very cool. So now I just want some little fun something. And do I want it to be, let me see, I can look on these tags. I could take a bit from those, or I can also, I could do, this is a good color. This I have fussy cut out. Hmm. Do. And I could put like a label or something right there. Or, wait a minute, guys. Nah, too much lemon. But I could put some lace there. Okay, okay. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. All right, now let's go ahead and get the rest of these secured down. Fan, really? It's blowing everything away, you guys. So I am just. So, how have you been? I didn't ask that, I don't think. I did say I hope you're having a good day. I think I said that, but I just, please feel free always. If I don't say it, please know that every video that I do, I really do feel like I'm visiting with you. It is just amazing. I feel like we're good friends and that it's my way of chatting with you, letting you know I love you and that I hope everything's going well in your world. And when you like the video, I really do appreciate that because that does help me. But I especially love it when you feel comfortable enough to comment because that's how I get to know you. That's how I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's nice to know. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I don't want you to ever feel like, oh, well, I don't do that and she won't like me if I don't, because that's not true. We are all different and all of us have different comfort levels, and if you don't, just know I still love you. Even if you're quietly watching and you're commenting, but I don't hear it. I do in my heart. I hear you. I see you there, and I think you're wonderful. So just know that. Okay, that's cool. I think we'll just kind of edge this. You know, I'm kind of, I'm eclectic. I'm loosey goosey about edge or don't edge. Ink your edges, don't ink your edges. because sometimes I just think it's fabulous, and other times I'm like, yeah, you know. So if you see inconsistencies there, that's my mantra is consistently inconsistent. So honestly, it really has a lot to do with how I feel on a certain day, right? Do you ever, you're in a mood and one day you're just like, oh, I want to do this. And the next day you're like, yeah, that's pretty boring. Move on. Well, that's how I am sometimes. And so yeah, not everything all the time is going to line up and be exactly like I've always done it. Does that make sense? So I'm not trying to be a liar or be untrue or anything like that. It's just, you know, just is what it is. Okay, I think we'll throw that away. Let's get another page. And actually these pages are pretty cool, but I've got a lot of them. Some of them I will save, and some of them are just serving their purpose in a very meaningful way, but that I will be the only one that knows and appreciates the fact that these pages gave their lives for me. Oh, that probably sounds very strange. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, well, I don't have to, but I want to. So, in the last several days, and I have not been done a video for a few days, but I have to share with you what my hubby has done. And I have just been like, oh, who is this man? Who is this guy? Well, number one, those of you that are new, again, I love my husband. He is such a good guy. But I will tell you that, our lives have not been perfect, but I've always respected him. And we have just, over the years, we've just grown and grown, and we just really like each other, which, in my opinion, is more important sometimes than love. But we have that too. Anyway, so let me look at that. Do I really want that? So last week it was, I don't know, what do you think? Kind of liking the idea of a little smaller and maybe, guys, a little bit of a something, right? Right? An ad. Yes, let's do it. Like I said, these don't go together really fast. But that's okay because it's super fun. And I am loving the process. So I'm in my studio working, and I go in the kitchen, and a sweet friend had given us a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes from her garden. And, we love fresh tomatoes, but there were a lot. And it was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to have salads every day and that kind of thing. But I went out into the kitchen, and he's got a water bath, and he's got the tomatoes in a water bath. I mean, I used to can, oh dear, glue, and it's gone onto my fruit. Dang it. Let me see if I can erase it off. Shoot. That is one thing about whatever glue I use. It can get sticky and gets irritating. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm canning tomatoes. You're what? I'm canning tomatoes. I didn't know what to do with them, so I'm canning them. Okay, that's fabulous, honey. I think that's amazing. Now, back in the day when we were raising our kids, canning really was a part of our lives. We canned all kinds of things, tomatoes, garden veggies, all kinds of stuff. Even apple pie filling. Uh, but we haven't done that in forever, and gave my canning equipment away to my daughter many years ago. And we would occasionally, I'd do like jam or something like that, but nothing big, certainly not tomatoes. And so it was like just the coolest, sweetest. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just want to clone you. But not because, you're mine. So he did that. He canned and he got 3 pints of tomatoes. And he did it through Google. He Googled it, canning tomatoes, and he did it in the it's not an air fryer, it's a Instapot. Is that right? In the Instapot. And he canned the tomatoes, water bath, and all 3 of them, they do the little ting, so they sealed. And so we have 3 pints of tomatoes that yeah. So I'm just like, man, you are such a cool guy. Yeah. So he did that. That's one of the things. And it's just like, oh, honey, you are the best. I mean, he is anyway, but still, it's like, wow, really? Um, and then a couple of days after that, we were talking about I wanted to make some raisin oatmeal cookies, specifically the son that lives here. Let's see, which one do I want? Where are they? Let me see. What did I do with them? Is this one? Nope. There's one. Oh no, maybe I used the other one. So we could do this in here or this in here. Eeny meeny, catch a tigger. I don't know. I think this, because this and this, I think they may compete just a little bit. And this will be in. So yeah, I think we'll do it that way. Where was I? Oh, so we were talking about doing cookies. He wanted to bake a strawberry pie. I know. I know, right? And I'm like, well, I'd really kind of like to bake, these cookies, and wanted to have some to give to our son and family. He just had some real issues with that storm that passed through that I told you about a few videos ago, that we had a 70, 80 mile an hour winds and some of the people's homes, and he had a tree fall on his shop. And so he's a wood craftsman, and so he can't have mold or anything like that. So it was pretty devastating. Anyway, and he didn't want Dad or I up on the roof, helping, which I understand, but it was like, well, we can bake cookies. So anyway, so then we're kind of playing, hubby and I were like, I want to bake a pie. And I'm like, oh, I want to do cookies. And then he's like, okay, we'll do cookies. I said, no, we bake a pie. So then we're on that, where we're doing the opposite. And then I'm like, well, fine. What? I'm not, now I don't want to bake cookies. And he's like, well, I'm not baking a pie. So have you ever done that back and forth, guys? I mean, seriously, how funny. Um, So, and we weren't mad at each other. It wasn't anything like that. It was just whatever. I'm like, well, I'm going to go in my studio. I'm going to work in my studio then. So I come out later. Guess who's putting cookies in the oven? I'm telling you, I do not deserve him. He is, he is so good to me. And I know part of that has to do with, the cancer, and we don't know what will happen tomorrow or anything like that. But I am just so eternally grateful for this man that I call friend and husband. And really, you guys, if you have to pick between an amazing friend or someone you're madly in love with, go with your friend, because the madly in love with, that comes and goes. And depending on character traits and whatnot, that can get pretty old pretty fast. And then and if you don't like them, then what's the point, right? So, in my opinion, that is the most important thing. But that's me, you know, and that's okay if you want to do it the other way. Look, guys. So now all I have to do is to stitch around the edges of each image. If you're just gluing, then this is, you're done. And then you can do whatever you want on the back. You can either draw boxes to have it be a kind of a like. Um, there are also stamps that you can get that look like stitches. You can make handmade stitches if you want. Whatever you want to do is perfectly fine. So I'm going to put this on pause again. I'm going to stitch around, and then we'll take a look at it and put it in our journal. Okay, so now what I do is I will pull all my threads to the front here, hopefully. Hopefully. And I will tie them off. You don't have to tie them off. I just, it's something that I like to do, and I'm used to in the quilting, arena. You tie off your threads and stuff when you do this kind of stuff. Okay. And you'll notice that I have things starting and stopping at different places. In other words, they don't all start at this corner. Like this is this corner, this is this corner, here's one over here, one here, etc. I mix it all up because I do intend on, is that just 3 so far? I do intend on cutting these and leaving threads. And so I want the threads in different spots. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, but that's what I'm doing here. Um, 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 um. Mm. And every once in a while, I'll get one that maybe just doesn't seem to want to come through, and I'll just trim it off, because it's not like these are going to be washed or anything like that. And so I just tie them. I don't know if you can see this. My hands are in the way. So we'll just tie and trim. You could just do it in a little knot, or you can, do the two together. However you do you. It really doesn't matter. I'm just securing these and making it so they don't continue, to fray, because I really don't want that. And also I wanted to show you this. I did the line across because I want this effect on the back, but I didn't, obviously I've got this little hole here for the tag. And so anyway, you may have something like that to deal with. And that's how I did mine, is I just stitched along where it would, where it would look okay. Let's see. I haven't pulled these through. Where's my little thingy, my thingy bopper? What did I do with it? Here it is. So the whole idea is just guys, is just have fun. Just enjoy it. After a hard day of work, after a hard day of kiddos or whatever it might be, or whatever it is, just relax. Or, even if you don't have a hard day, still relax and enjoy it. More fun stuff, right? Oh, now if you leave these threads long enough, plan that out, then you can also tie little bows and different things like that with your threads if you want. I'm not doing that on this one, but I have done that before. So this is just to show you, this is just to, okay, last step. Oh, see, that's this other, those are already done. I take a, what's this called? A seam something, a wooden seam presser, and I go on the back side of my stitching and I press my stitching down. You will find when you stitch through paper, it has a tendency to pucker up more and it's rougher on the underside. And so I just take one of these. You can find them in a quilt store, in a even just like a Michael's or Joann's, or I haven't looked in Hobby Lobby, but anywhere where they do bits of fabric and stuff, they'll usually have tools like this. And because I'm left-handed, this is the one I use. If I were right-handed, I'd use this side, and obviously that side is still new. You can see the difference because I do this with my altered papers that I do in my shop. So yeah, that is the last step, guys. And I think it looks really fun. So let's go ahead and put it in our journal. Yeah, isn't that cool? All right, guys. So that is it for this video. So grab your images, grab some paper, make an I Spy. Make an I Spy card, make an I Spy page, stained glass, call it whatever you want to call it, but just do it and have some fun. All right. I love you guys. Sorry this went longer than I thought, but that's me. I'm a bit chatty. All right. Love you guys. See you next time.